We may need to add or subtract mixed numbers, and there are two methods you can use. Choose which method you prefer. You can either work with the whole numbers and fractions separately, or change them into improper fractions. Firstly, we do an addition showing both methods, and the example I will use is 2 3/4 add 1 2/3. So method 1, working with the whole numbers and fractions separately. The whole number 2 and 1 makes 3. So I have 3 3/4 plus 2/3. Now I need to find a common denominator, which is 12. So we'll change the 3/4 into something over 12 and 2/3 into something over 12. I've multiplied the 4 by 3 to get 12, so I times the top by 3 to get 9. I've multiplied the 3 by 4 to get 12, so I times the top by 4 to get 8. I now add 9/12 and 8/12 to get 3 17/12. We have an improper fraction which we change to a mixed number separately. 12 goes into 17 once, remainder 5. So 17/12 is 1 5/12. We also have the 3 whole ones which we add on to the 1. So the final answer is 4 5/12. Now method 2, changing the mixed numbers to improper fractions. To change 2 3/4 into a top-heavy fraction, we say 2 times 4 is 8, plus the 3 makes 11, giving 11/4. To change 1 2/3 into a top-heavy fraction, we say 1 times 3 is 3, plus the 2 is 5, giving 5/3. So now we need to find a common denominator, which is 12, since 4 and 3 both divide into 12 exactly. So 11 over 4 is something over 12, and 5 over 3 is something over 12. I've multiplied the 4 by 3 to get 12, so I times the top by 3 to get 33. I've multiplied the 3 by 4 to get 12, so I times the top by 4 to get 20. I now add 33/12 and 20/12, 53/12. We have an improper fraction which we change to a mixed number. 12 goes into 53 4 times, remainder 5. So the answer is 4 5/12. Now we will do an example of a subtraction with mixed numbers using both methods. The example is 5 2/5 minus 3 7/10. So method 1, working with the whole numbers and fractions separately. The whole number 5 minus 3 makes 2. So I have 2 2/5 minus 7/10. I now need to find a common denominator, which is 10. So we'll change the 2/5 into something over 10 and the 7/10 into something over 10. I've multiplied the 5 by 2 to get 10, so I times the top by 2 to get 4. In the second fraction, I've not to change the denominator, so I don't need to change the numerator. In this example, when we come to subtract the fraction, 4 minus 7, we can't do because 4 is smaller than 7. So we change one of the 2 whole ones into 10/10. The 2 whole ones become 1 whole one and 10/10, which when we add on the 4/10 become 14/10. We can now subtract 14 minus 7 to give 7/10. So the answer is 1 7/10. Now method 2, changing the mixed number to an improper fraction. To change 5 2/5 into a top-heavy fraction, we say 5 times 5 is 25, plus the 2 makes 27, giving 27/5. To change 3 7/10 into a top-heavy fraction, we say 3 times 10 is 30, plus the 7 is 37, giving 37/10. Now we need to find a common denominator, which is 10, since 5 and 10 both divide into 10 exactly. So 27 over 5 is something over 10, and 37 over 10 is something over 10. I've multiplied the 5 by 2 to get 10, so I've times the top by 2 to get 54. In the second fraction, I've not had to change the denominator, so I don't need to change the numerator. Since the denominators are the same, I now subtract 54 minus 37, which is 17, to give 17 tenths. This is an improper fraction, which we change to a mixed number. 10 goes into 17 once, remainder 7. The 7 tenths can't be cancelled down, so the answer is 1 and 7 tenths.